I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Guys, welcome back to Oops, the podcast. I am Giulio Gallerati, as always, joined by the wonderful Francis Ellis. Francis, how are you?
Got a new haircut. Did it myself.
You look great. DIY,
Thank
baby.
you. Yeah.
Today we are joined by a wonderful guest. You guys might know her from her Comedy Central and Netflix specials. Please give it up for Nikki Glaser.
Hello.
How are
Nikki
you?
Glaser.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Of course.
Nikki, just so for the record, had I introed you, I would have added a lot more credits.
I appreciate that. I really did think that it was going to keep going. I thought I had some time. I thought I could maybe get in a bathroom break if Giulio really celebrated all of the things I'm known for, but I'll just hold it, I guess.
I just want you to feel comfortable. Like, I don't want you to feel like we're putting you on a pedestal, you know?
Yeah, I actually need that more than ever right now. I'm living with my parents in St. Louis, Missouri. So yeah, please don't knock me off of this pedestal I'm on, sleeping in my childhood bed, and losing a job every day that I thought was safe, and it just isn't. Everything's different. But yeah, it's nice to be humbled here today, boys.
Good.
Hey,
Well,
you look great. You really do. I'm not just saying that. And I DM'd you that the other day.
You did? That made me feel so good.
Yeah, you know, I struggled with how to word that message, I have to say.
What did you say? You nailed it. I have to say you nailed it. It was like the perfect, it was the perfect compliment, but not like creepy, but not like there was
Right
a
on the
vibe to
edge.
it.
Right on the edge.
It was perfect. I really appreciate the work that went into it, and it showed. That went through a couple drafts.
It sure did.
You started that one in the notes, and then you copied and pasted just in case I could see that you were like writing it in the DM, like just in case it came up that like Francis Ellis is writing you, and then it just kept, I fear all of those things. So whatever you did to make that happen, I really needed it.
Well, you looked so toned. You looked
It's
fantastic.
so funny. I swear to God, I don't have abs, but if you just up the detail in whatever photo editing software you have abs. It'll like find abs for you and define them. But no, I really haven't been working out or anything. Are you guys doing home workouts?
I've gotten very into Peloton.
Oh yeah.
And
that's
I know that
an unhealthy relationship with Peloton.
it's not good. It's not
Everyone
good,
does.
Nikki.
It's that's why I don't get one. I don't want to be addicted to that thing. I don't want to be in competition with other rich white people across the country. I don't want to see an instructor. The instructors are full of shit. They're not all full of shit. I don't want to say that. Don't come after me. But the motivation I've received in those kind of spin classes is just empty. It's just like chicken soup for the soul type things. Mm-hmm. And I just roll my eyes the entire time. So my eye muscles get a good workout. Mm-hmm. Cool joke. Great joke, Nikki. Yeah. My I don't even know what they would be called. I don't know any, my grandfather was an eye surgeon. I should know one extra thing about the eye, but I know nothing.
The old ocular biceps. I've been in competition with rich white people my entire life, so I felt like I should keep it going.
I know.
And,
is that what you're obsessed with? The stats and the
when I first I've been doing it like a month and a half, and I wasn't at first. I was like, oh, this is nice. And then my friends started following me, and then I'd start following them back. And then they would like do a workout, screenshot their results, and then text them to me and say, chase this. Next thing you know, I've lost like 6 pounds and I have headaches all day. So
this isn't good. It becomes an addiction. Everyone's getting addicted to exercising and these home gyms. It's like, because we're so bored, what else are you going to do? I mean, it seems social. You're talking with your friends, you're comparing stats, but I mean, is it fun? Like while you're doing it, I really want to know, like, are you having fun? Because the only fun I seem to be seeing is just when you get to screenshot it and brag on your Instagram story.
Yeah.
That's what people seem to really, that's the glory.
Towards.
Totally. I like beating my own scores. That's fun for me, I will say.
Okay.
So that's like
when
the
does
one
it end?
part.
Like when are you done?
I think I'm definitely going to reach a point where I can't go any higher, you know? And
Right.
at that point, it'll just be like,
But is
okay,
it fun? Is it fun? I'm sorry. It's just like spinning is not, I'm just like not into working out if it's not fun anymore, especially with something like that. You could bike outside, like you could Peloton outside.
that's true.
Are you in New York? Are you in Manhattan?
No, I'm in Maine.
Then yeah, you can bike outside.
Can. But the thing is, I haven't had fun exercising since I played sports.
Right.
Right.
You know, like I have fun playing tennis and, you know, basketball and stuff, but actually just going to the gym and work, that's not fun for me.
Yeah,
so this
and
is
I
just
guess
an
it all
extension.
does suck.
Like in theory, the results are the fun part at some point.
It really is. And then, but there's sometimes like I run outside and I love it and I need it. And it's not about like how many calories did I burn or how many miles did I do. It's just about like feeling the air outside and being a human and being like, wow, my body can go this fast. Just like, it's good mentally for me. And I always wanted to be one of those people that just worked out for the mental aspect and not because I'm like, I want to eat an extra handful of chips later. And I'm finally there and it feels good to not be like obsessed with it. People just get so obsessed.
Yeah, I know what picture we're talking about also now. Let's just refer to it as the picture.
Yeah, the
from now on.
picture.
But you
Yeah.
look shred city in it.
It's so funny. I'm so not like I'm thin. That's for sure. So like, I think it's just my stomach. I don't think there's like abs. Like I think if you get thin enough, your abs will just stick out even if because we all have abs somewhere in there. I think I'm just malnourished.
It's a good point. Prisoners of war have great abs.
Yeah, Jesus. Wait, was he starving? Probably.
Most
Fine
are, I
line.
think.
Yeah. I mean, Giulio, what are you doing to work out?
I'm just doing like whatever like I can do here, like whatever I can execute. I've been doing a lot of hiking.
Yeah.
It's been fine. It's been
Too
fun.
many
You know
people
what I mean?
are out there, walking around. It looks like Halloween night in my neighborhood constantly. It's just families, so many families, and they're all dressed like, you know, bank robbers. But it's just that's it. There's too many people walking. I'm tired of it. It's too many, and everyone, and the kids they're just parents trying to burn off their kids' energy. That's all it is. The parents are just like despondent. It looks like the end times. But there's
crazy.
are there a lot of people hiking where you're hiking?
Sort of. It's kind of there's a lot of ticks here. So I think that like hiking isn't as popular.
God, it's everywhere.
I know.
There's things everywhere.
I know. It's really frustrating.
Dude,
But you know,
I pulled a tick off my
No.
head the other night.
really,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was really freaked out.
how'd you find it?
I
Because
scratched
look at
my
his
head a
hair.
lot.
He could see it.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time scratching my head. And so
Just feeling around for, yeah.
I just have the wrong shampoo, I think. But you know,
You gave yourself a great hedge fund haircut, dude.
yes.
Yeah, it's a good haircut.
Yes.
Does
Thank
the tick thing inspired this?
you.
To be able to,
It was part of it. You know, I think the reason that I got the tick is that we have this little French bulldog with us right now, and we bring him up into the bed and on the couch and stuff. And I suspect that he got the tick and then, you know, flicked it over to me somehow.
blame it on the dog. Yeah.
I know. But
It doesn't mean you're disgusting if you have a tick. Like you don't have to come up with a reason why you got the tick. It's not like something
It's
you
not
catch
herpes.
from like, yeah, it's not, you don't have to be, you can just be like, I was just in the woods. Like,
look, guys, more people get ticks than you'd think. All right. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a very common problem. All right.
right. And it's something that it can't transmit to others. Oh wait, is Lyme disease, once you get that, can you
See,
give it to
that's
others?
what I'm afraid
That's
of.
the
I
thing.
am very afraid of Lyme.
Oh,
disease.
everyone should be terrified of Lyme disease. It is so
fucked up.
scary, and doctors don't like acknowledge that it's a thing. So you can't get covered for it, and you have to. It's crazy. Friends with people with Lyme disease are told they're crazy. Like I don't know if you guys know anyone with Lyme disease,
Yes.
but it's like it's brutal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and people
so-
talk shit about you. They're like, she has Lyme disease.
Yep.
It's
yeah,
fucked
they
up.
think it's in your head and they think you're just crazy. Like anyone would want that. That's the thing. Even if it was in people's heads, because I think a lot of pain is in your head. Like it all stems from just, you know, mental anguish that we can't really release. And so it goes to different parts of our body and like beats the shit out of our nerves because we like don't want to cry all day. But even if that's the case, even if your pain is psychosomatic, people get so upset when you tell them that. And I'm not saying Lyme disease is not that, but even if it were, who cares? You're still in pain. I still feel sorry for you. People go like, it's not in my head. It's like, but that doesn't take away. You're still in pain. You're allowed to have it. But people hate being told it's in their head. But there's so much shit in our heads that we have no control over, just as much as catching an illness anywhere else.
Absolutely.
That's really well said.
Very
And
well said.
This tick was in my head. It was embedded. And
It's all, the tick is just in your head.
disgusting.
Literally, it's half of it is still inside, and you're gonna have it surgically removed someday. Yeah.
Speaking of pain, you are the biggest Taylor Swift fan that I've ever met. And I'm sure you know where this is going. She recently released her documentary on Netflix and utilized a very quick soundbite of yours where you were kind of complimenting her in a way.
Yeah, I said she was really thin, and I said she was too skinny, and she has model friends, and I don't like it.
Yeah. And have you, I saw your post on Instagram. I can only imagine how hard that must have been for you.
Nah.
No?
No. It's not hard for me to apologize.
I didn't mean apologize, to have read that she misunderstood.
Find a good looking picture of me in a Taylor Swift shirt. Yeah, it was a struggle. I had to go through I had to flip through my photo album for hours. Find March 2017. Wait, what part was hard, do you think? Just to go through it in general. Dude, it was the worst, because what happened was I heard my voice in the trailer. Like as soon as the trailer came out, I'm such a fan that I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this trailer for this amazing documentary. And then I'm watching the trailer in bed, after I got back from sets, like late at night. And I just heard like, she's too skinny, all her model friends. And I was like, and I literally dropped my phone. It was on the mattress, so it wasn't a far fall, but I was like I had that kind of cartoonish response to it. And but it was just my voice. Like it was over different stuff. So I didn't know if it was my voice. It just sounded like something I would say. And to me, it just sounded like me so much. So I was like, oh, fuck. I sent it to all my friends. So like 2 people. And they got back. They were like, Nikki, this isn't you. And I was like, I know it's me. And they're like, it doesn't sound like you. No one noticed. I went a whole week that thing was out, and no one knew it was me. Tons of people watched it, and millions and millions and millions. No one pinned my voice on that. And I thought that Swifties would be like, researching my voice and finding where so they could come after me. But that whole week I was like, oh my God, the documentary is coming out in a week. I don't know what else I have said. I didn't even want to look at what I've said about her, because I talk about her all the time because I love her. But just like someone who's your best friend, when your best friend has it all going on, you get jealous, and then you lash out at them about things you actually want. And I want to have model friends, and I want to be a model so that I could be friends with Taylor, and I'm not, and it's not fair, all of these things. And so I knew that there was so much footage of me probably talking about her over the years. And I was like, what did they use in this documentary? So I wrote my agent, my manager, and my publicist, and I only say that to brag that I have all of those. And I wrote to them and I said, I sent them the clip, and they're like, that doesn't sound like you. I'm like, I swear to God, it is me. And I have a feeling it's going to be longer in the film. And everyone was like, no, Nikki, it's just going to be your voice. I'm like, no, it's not. That's a trailer. It's going to be bigger. I just know. And my age, everyone researched it, and I was like, can we reach out to Netflix to see, just so I can be prepared for how much I'm in this documentary? And they were like, no, please do. The thing with Netflix is we don't want to even stir up anything. We don't want to create a story where there isn't one. We don't want to even associate you with it. They were scared. My publicist wrote me this long thing of don't talk about this, just because they're like, don't be in the anti-Taylor Swift camp. You don't want to be there. And they were all very scared. My lawyer wrote to me privately off of our whole thread with all my team. He said, no matter what happens, I'll still love you. And was just like,
oh my God.
I go, what could happen, Lev? Tell me.
Oh my God.
And so then the documentary came out, and I was just so scared. And I just didn't even want to watch it. I was just going to wait until someone messaged me. And sure enough, some people got some early screenings of it, because there were some people who review stuff, and they go, I got an early screening and you're in the documentary. And I was like, fuck. And they sent me the clip, and it wasn't so bad. It didn't say my name, but I was like, I just know that I could never be friends with. I feel so bad that I am like the enemy of this film and used as the reason why she went away for a year and no one saw her. And I'm like, and she probably never saw the clip until she saw it in the documentary. She's not like searching herself. I don't think she's like that. But now I know she's seen it. And I was like, now if I ever meet her again, if she ever sees my face again, it's going to be like connotated with that. And it was just like the worst feeling. And I couldn't listen to her music anymore because I was like, I can't believe I hurt my queen. And I listened to her music every day. And that was right around the time where I was really into, like, I think Lover had just come out or a couple months before. And so I was like deep in love with her new album. And I couldn't listen to it for a week. And I was just so sad because I was like, I just can't. It just reminds me of how I'm a bad person and I should shut my mouth and who do I think I am? And I was like struggling for a week and no one wanted to talk to me about it because everyone was like, Nikki, you're blowing it out. You're not, don't worry. And so then as soon as it came out and the first hate mail I got, I was like, I'm getting ahead of this. And I just wrote to her, not to her fans, but like to her being like, I'm sorry. This is really shitty. Like I would do to my friends. Like I've been caught talking shit about my friends behind their back and I always own up to it. So that's the story.
Did
Sorry,
she respond?
I just talked for. She wrote back and she said, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I appreciate this so much." She was like, "It's because I told her that obviously I've struggled with eating." She pretty much. I'm in the part of the film where she's like anorexic and like hates being judged about her body. Meanwhile, I like almost died of anorexia. It's like so ironic that I would be someone that would like bully someone that was going through that. And so I wrote about that in my apology and she wrote back like, I'm so sorry that you struggled with that. She was like very sweet and compassionate. She's a good person. And I was so excited. I was on a date when it all came through. I was like on it. It was such a good night. Cause I was like, just, you're not on, the only time I'm not on the phone is if I'm like on a date. Like, or doing a podcast. And so I wasn't on my phone all night. And then I looked at it one time, just to like, he went to the bathroom and it was just like so many texts of like, she wrote back. And I just wrote, thanks Taylor. Cause I didn't want to like overstay. I didn't want to be like, DM me sometime. But, and that was that. So now I think we're good. I mean, I'm still terrified of her and I'm really sad that I'm not scared of her, but I am sad that I did that and I should just shut up about her. I should have no comments about her.
Well, that sounds like a nice moment. Like it's a
huge outcome. That's
out of
tremendous.
context.
Yeah, she's the best. I wouldn't have been able to get through this quarantine without her music. And like, I was looking at my old CD collection from high school because I'm living in my childhood bedroom. And I was going through like Counting Crows, Dave Matthews, Fish, Rusted Root, John Mayer, Ben Harper. I'm like, where was there a woman to help me through high school? Where was there a female voice that was like, this is how I'm experiencing it? I had none of that. We had Britney Spears, who was literally singing songs about being hit. And the one song of hers that I love the most is Born to Make You Happy. I mean, that was the messaging we were getting as young girls. And so Taylor Swift to me now is like, nurtures the part of me that didn't have that in high school of like, it's okay, girl, we're all struggling. And like, I don't know. I relate to her music in such a weird, deep way. Do you guys have anyone like that you just like, are you obsessed with any artist?
I listened to a lot of Erykah Badu in high school.
Really?
Wait a second.
And I'm sad that you didn't have the female heroes that I did musically.
I mean, Erykah Badu would have been good for me, although that would have been a little too. I mean, her what on and on and on. Didn't she have that? That's the only one I know. Yeah,
she did. To be honest
She's so
with you,
beautiful.
I just went along with what you just said. I have no idea. I couldn't name a single Erykah Badu song.
Oh my God, really? I really believed you. I was like, you were into Badu.
I was trying to
Badu
name,
boy.
I was trying to like culture shame you by
Oh yeah, you
naming
did. I did feel like, oh, I don't know enough Badu. I've got to go back through. Yeah, I just liked a lot of white men. Oh, Ben Harper.
Well, Nikki, I think that you don't have to feel that bad about that. I think when you're elevated to a certain status, little throwaway jokes about you are part that come with the territory.
Yeah.
I don't think that she was like you said, she definitely never saw that before she saw it in the documentary, probably.
No.
I'm sure she wasn't that mad at you. And now, if anything, you guys are tighter than you ever were before. So
It was obviously the best outcome. I'm glad it happened the way it did. And it just, people were very moved by it and were like, wow, you apologized. And I'm like, it was like easy to do. I got to do something I get to speak to the person that means more to me than anything in the world. And she was like nice back. Like I have an in if I want it, but I don't want it. I just wanted us to be cool so I could enjoy her music still, because it sucks when I've had friends that I enjoy their talent, or ex-boyfriends who I'm like, they're so talented, but I can't listen to what they do anymore because I hate them. Yeah, but they're talented. Or, like Louis C.K. or Woody Allen, like these guys that you have or the artists that you have animosity for what they've done, but you're like, I can't enjoy it as much. And it's not out of like, I need to put my foot down. It's like, I literally don't enjoy Louis C.K. anymore because I don't trust him. I used to trust him he says everything. He's just the biggest truth teller. And now I'm just like, I don't know. I remember there was one podcast I used to listen to and I loved it because I was like, this guy just like says it like it is. You really get to like, he's not hiding anything. It's so vulnerable. And then I found out that he like cheats on his girlfriend. And I was like, no, I can't. Like, you're lying to your I don't expect guys when they cheat to tell their podcast listeners, but you can't be fully honest and a good performer if you're hiding a deep secret like that. That's like bad. You just can't.
Agreed.
You can't give all of yourself. Yeah, you can still have your privacy, but if you're hurting people secretly, I find out about it, I can never trust you again fully.
Totally fair.
But I can still like Louis C.K. jokes still have literally changed my life in terms of whenever I'm flying, I never get upset about any delay, any inconvenience on a plane. I will never be upset about, because I think of Louis C.K.'s joke about you're flying in the sky miraculously like a bird, and give it a sec when the guy's complaining about the Wi-Fi. I'll never forget that, and that's made me a better person. So thank you.
Same,
Louis.
actually. That's
right.
Like I go right to that bit.
Are there? I'm trying to think of other bits that I keep with me that have changed the way that's the kind of comedy I really want to do. I mean, Louis is like a huge influence, but like that just changed the way you look at a thing and the way you react to something. It's pretty rare to happen.
Yeah. We would like to recommend that you guys check out the book I Won by Tomas Verez. Tom is one of those teenagers that fight with the world during the daytime and fight with their own inner world during the night. He lives an ordinary life in humble circumstances where the only exciting activity is watching films on TV. But young growing men full of energy can't spend their free time at home on the couch. Growing men have the need to express their desires, share their feelings. After a rushed decision to express his feelings that are inside of him, bad things start to happen. He lost the only friends he had. He lost the future that he could have had. He found himself in a new and unknown place, alone, depressed, feelings of being lost, suicidal thoughts, lack of self-confidence. These all became part of him. All he wants is to achieve success, allowing him to live a real life, the life he always dreamt of. But what is success? And what does it mean to live real life? Before I Won is a story of the battles that you fight within yourself, a story about finding yourself. Hal Elrod, the international keynote speaker and best-selling author of The Miracle Morning, said, if you desire to elevate yourself and live your life to your full potential, this book is a must-read. Pop singer Peter Hollins called the book full of emotion that you could genuinely feel, had tears at points, laughed at others, full of great messages of hope and finding what you love. So check that out on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Tom Segura had a line, and it wasn't even a joke, in his most recent Netflix special just now, where he said that in the pursuit of your dream, as long as you are willing to accept that it might not turn out exactly as you had planned it would, you'll find that you enjoy the process much more.
That's really good.
And I thought that's something that's kind of stuck with me.
It's a nice nuanced take on that idea.
Yeah.
Because, we all want to be the greatest. I mean, let's just be honest. We all want to be maybe you don't, but there's something in you that goes, I would like to be like, in high school, I wanted to be Jennifer Aniston. I was like, I'm going to be that famous by 25, no doubt about it, have a show on TV. Like, it just was the way it was going to be. And then I'm 36 now, and I'm like, this might be as famous as I get. And it's not the most that you could be. It's pretty good. But I I have to enjoy the process. That's it. Because if I'm constantly, my expectations for myself are just, it's going to ruin me, to be honest with you. Like if anything in this business ruins me, it's not going to be a drug. It's going to be, or alcohol or exhaustion. It could be that. It's going to be feeling so disappointed in myself every single time I have something high stakes to do. Like it's just this new thing that started for me in my career in the past couple of years, that I give a performance that I try really hard. Like I work so hard on. And then afterwards I am filled with such deep regret about what I didn't do or what I did say, but mostly what I didn't say. It's always what like suddenly I'll start writing a flood of jokes right when we hang up on the Zoom. All right, bye. And then I'm like, oh my God, I could have said this and this and this. And it just, then it ruins my day until it airs and then I get good feedback, or it just always lingers with me of like this deep disappointment, and I'll be haunted by it forever, where I'll just be like, I was on a run yesterday and there was a thing I did the other day that I just was like, oh, that was a C+ at best. And I do not get C+. Like if I study, I get an A, and I studied and I got a C+. But tests are hard over Zoom in a pandemic.
Yeah.
Like it's a different, I'm playing a different game now, but I was on this run and I just kept remembering things that I didn't say. And I would just go, God, like I was literally cry. People mowing their lawn could hear my screams into the night because I was just do you guys have that? Are you haunted by regret?
Sometimes, but I think that what you're saying is important, because just the acknowledgement that you know that this is unhealthy and wrong is like a very positive step.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do to fix it.
Right.
Literally nothing.
It's wrong. You know what I mean? You can't say someone's feelings are wrong, but it's wrong because
my dad can.
But it's making you feel bad about yourself. You know what I mean? And like, that's an incorrect feeling. So it's something that like you always have to work on, but it's okay. You know what I mean?
Nikki
sucks though. It's not worth it. I'm tired of it. I'd rather just like never have anything that I'm trying that hard on, because all these things I kill, by the way. It always ends up good. No one ever is like, why didn't you say that? Well, it's always good. Right. But it just, to me, I'm like, it could have been so much better. And you have no idea if you like me then, you have my potential, you know? But
totally. Do you ever allow yourself to, recognize some of your great moments and like your truly great performances? Like, is there ever a moment where you're like, you know what? That was fantastic.
Yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, there are times where I'm like, oh, I killed that. That was great. But I don't go back and look at it. I don't go back and take it in. I don't like to read comments about things. I want to move on. It's like, I'm only as good as my last thing, but really I'm only as good as what I have on the books. And I can maybe, like after I do an appearance, I can maybe be happy but it depends a lot. Like my best performances, I've been miserable. Days of just miserableness afterwards, of crying, like nonstop crying, of like, I just can't believe I did that. Like my body just looks like a question mark, just walking around, just like, and people are like, you're crazy. You killed. Like after I did the Alec Baldwin roast, I was fucking nuts. Like I also had, which is one of my best performances ever. Like if I died, that's what I'll be remembered for, was that set. It like changed my career, that set going viral. But right after I taped it, I forgot to tell 2 jokes and I couldn't function. I was at the after party and people were like, that was amazing. And I was like, I just forgot these. I was like crying at the after party of this thing that I just killed. And then a week passed and then it came out and it was amazing. But, and I got like, and now I don't even care. Like, I'm glad that joke didn't happen because I got to save it for another thing. But it's just in the moment I can't. And then it's almost like the way you feel when you're going through a breakup and you're like, the pain is so bad. I don't ever want to be in love again. Like, and that's the way I feel about performing. Sometimes I'm like, it's not the nerves before, it's the punishment after that I go, this isn't really worth it. But I don't feel that way about stand-up. Stand-up, I can be like, have a bad set and be like, all right, bye. Like, who cares? It's when the stakes are high.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, and you start feeling different and you're like, why am I treating this differently? Just treat it normal. Like, you know what I mean? That whole inner dialogue.
Yeah. There's always that of like, I should have been more loose, or I should have really hunkered down. Like there's never, it's just like you did it the way you did it because you tried. That was the best you could do. And I'm like, but I shouldn't have gone on that hike with my dad. I shouldn't have watched that episode of Summer House. I should have been writing jokes for. I'll just go insane. Are you guys haunted by? I should probably be on medication.
I get scared of like passing a great moment and never enjoying it, and then realizing it when my life is much worse.
Whoa. Okay. That's interesting. I've had that too recently because I keep going like, oh my God, climate change is coming and there's new viruses and it's going to get so bad. And it's like, well, right now you're jogging down the street and there's like a beautiful bird, like with a twig. And then there's like a kid playing jump rope. Like right now is good.
Right.
Like who cares about that? Because this is your life right now. We're always worried about like, or at least I am. I'm always like, when is my life going to start? When am I going to settle down? And then that'll be my life. And it's like, this is your life. Like even in quarantine, this is our lives.
Totally.
Guys,
this isn't a pause.
I think I have an anecdote that will illustrate some of what we're talking about. And it's the quick story of my first kiss. It was the last day of 6th grade. We were having a end of the year dance at my friend Hillman's house in his garage.
Whoa.
And they would always play Stairway to Heaven as the last slow song, which was awkward because it's slow for a while and then it picks up steam and you're not going to go with it or pick whatever. It's odd.
Totally.
I was going out with Abby Atwood at the time and I loved her because of her alliterative name. And
that's I mean, you couldn't write that name.
I know.
That is just.
And she was so great. She was from a really nice town called Cape Elizabeth in Maine. And I loved her legs. I loved her legs so much. And
in 6th grade, you were a leg guy?
Even then I knew they were special. Yeah.
Wow. Did you like the, sidewalk chalk on them and and bruises? I mean, I feel like I was still a child. 6th grade, I still had hair on my legs in 6th grade. You were you were eating it up.
She had adult legs.
Wow.
Her legs grew faster than she did. So, and I used her real name, so I don't want to get too in the mud here, but she's a wonderful person. And it was the song was coming to an end. We had possibly pitched the idea on AOL Instant Messenger earlier of having a kiss, and the song ends, and I couldn't bring myself to kiss her. I was too scared and too nervous. And then at the time, there was an insurance commercial that had been running on TV a lot. I don't know what insurance company, but the motto that ran at the end of the ad was, "The greatest risk is not taking one." And I turned away from Abby as the song ended, and then I said that insurance quote in my head, turned back, and I went, "Hey, Abby." And I grabbed her and I kissed her. And to this day, it's one of the great moments of my life.
Wow.
And I would encourage you to live that way as well. The greatest risk is not taking one. That always stuck with me.
That's
triumphant.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work for me when I said State Farm is by your side or whatever that was when I wanted to make a move. Yeah, Nationwide is on your side. What's the State Farm one? I was really scrambling to come up with one.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm
Like a good neighbor. And then I tried to give a hand job. That's amazing that's such a good moment of just like, I'm doing it, because you have to have those moments with yourself. Oh my God, it's thundering here. Of just, yeah, I did Last Comic Standing when I was in college, and I was just trying out, stood in line all day, and I had a decent audition, but they were like, "How long have you been doing it?" And I was like, 2 years, but it was really like 1. And they were like, "You're good, but you're just a little too young." And I was like, "Okay." And I like hung up the mic, and then I walked off stage, and then I heard them say, "I really liked her," and the other one was like, "I did too. I mean, I could be convinced." And I just heard that, and I was like, and I just ran back up on stage. I grabbed the microphone and I was like, "Can I do another joke?" And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And so I did another joke and they loved it. And they were like, we'll see you tonight. And then I got to go into the showcase that night, which was like, 25 comics from hundreds throughout the day. And then from that show, I got picked to go as 3 people from Chicago to the semifinals in LA, which kind of like jump started my career, but it was all based. I mean, I was said, bye, thank you. And I was just like, and I watched it back and I remember being like, who do you think you are? Like, I can't even believe I had the balls to do that. But there's moments like that in my life where I just am like, just do it. Like, I remember like the first guy it was going to be my first kiss. It's such a similar story. But I didn't get it. First of all, my first kiss, I was I was like a sophomore. It was like spring of my sophomore year. And I was like in love with this guy, Doug Reese, who we called 98 Doug Reese because it was degrees.
I love
and,
that.
And so I was over at 98 Doug Reese's house and he was my best friend. We hung out all the time. We were supposed to be studying for a chemistry test the next day. And I told my friend Kirsten before I went over to his place, because I remember I was going to his place at 4. We got out of school at 2:50. We went home to my room so I could like do mouthwash. And I was so nervous because I was like, I'm going to tell him I like him. Then he's going to kiss me. Like, that's how it's going to go. So excited. And my friend had kissed boys already. And I was like, what if I'm bad? Like, I don't know what to do. And she was like, just kiss me and I'll tell you if you're bad or not. And I was like, really? She was like, yeah, let's just make out. And like, I'll tell you if you're good. So we made out in my bathroom. Me and my friend Kirsten made out in my bathroom, but it wasn't like it wasn't cruel intentions. Like, let me teach you. She just goes, yeah, you're good. That was fine. That was great. You're good. And I was just like, okay, thanks. I'm going to go have my first kiss. Little did I know I just did. Like, I didn't count that as my kiss. I went to Doug's and we were listening to Counting Crows, August and Everything After. And we were like sitting across from each other. And I've done this so many times with boys though, which I don't do anymore. I won't ever tell anyone I like them first, ever, 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 ever. Cause I always used to do it first, but and this was the first time I did it. I was just like, it's like jumping in a cold pool. You're just like, I gotta do it. And you're just like, I was like, Doug, I have something to tell you. And he was like, what? And I was like, I like you. And he was just like, really? And I was just like, yeah, I like you a lot. We were like best friends. And he was like, I just got a girlfriend last night. And I was like, what? And it was like a girl at another school. It was nuts. I mean, it sounded like a made up thing because I was like, what do you mean? You were hanging out with girls at other schools? Like, that's not what we even did at my public school. Like, we weren't friends with other school. I was like, how do you even know this girl? And so then I just like from afar was like obsessed with him. Like, I couldn't let it go. And we remained friends. And I would tell anyone who would listen, like everyone knew me in school. It's like, I was obsessed with Doug Reese and we were friends and we'd still hang out. And finally one day he like broke up with her for me. And so his friend came and like told me and like pulled me out of the Barnes & Noble that we always used to hang out in the cafe and like not buy anything, but just like read magazines, like study. And he was like, Nikki, I need to talk to you. And he took me out in the parking lot and he was like, Doug broke up with Catherine. And I was like, are you serious? I like started crying. I was like jumping up and down, so excited. And then I remember walking back into the Barnes & Noble and he's like, Doug's going to come up here and like, it's like, it's on. And I was upset. Like, this was my biggest dream come true ever. And I was walking back in and I remember opening the door and being like, I don't like him anymore. Like immediately. And he was the only person I ever talked about. And that was a pattern in my life forever, which was liking someone. And then as soon as I got them being like, no, I'm good. Which, I don't do that anymore either. But there were a lot of things that I'm constantly fighting, even in my adult life, that were laid out very early back then.
That's the thing you grow out of, I feel.
Liking people that don't like you?
Like you like them, then they like you, you don't like them, you know what I mean? Yeah. And even just like, isn't it funny, the messenger, like that role is phased out with maturity. Somebody being like, Doug's got something to tell you.
I miss that. I remember having such a crush on this guy that I worked with, and I told everyone so that it would get to him, and it never did. And I yelled at them. They were all my employees at the time. I had a TV show on MTV, and I remember just telling everyone because I thought they would tell him, and they all respected me and like my privacy. I was like, that's not what you're supposed to do. That's what you tell everyone, is so it gets to the person.
That's really.
But yeah, it's wild. You guys have girlfriends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is it nice to have someone during this quarantine?
So my girlfriend I haven't seen her in 2.5 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we talked about this a lot, but she went to California for the weekend and now just lives in California. And I was telling Francis that what we've been doing since it's been so long is we actually will leave the phone on through the night and like sleep together with the phone.
That is so freaking cute.
Oh
I
my
love
God,
that.
Nikki.
I love that.
It's terrifying is what it
Francis
is.
just hates it.
They're using each other as ambient noise.
Yeah, I love it. They're their own little white noise machine.
Giulio's sleep sound is slumbering girlfriend on the West Coast.
I love it. I think that's adorable. I mean, when are you going to see each other again? Do you have any plans?
In 10 days, she's going to be back. So I'll see her in a couple weeks, basically.
Oh my gosh. Are you so excited or what
I'm
is?
very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
I mean, do you have Skype sex? Like how do you do that?
We don't. We don't.
How long have you been together?
Like going on 2 years.
Okay. Yeah. So you don't need to have that. You're just like, we'll see each other when we see each other.
Yeah. So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Francis is with his girlfriend though.
Yeah. How is it?
You know, it's sort of what you were talking earlier, like days, there are rough days. And unfortunately, when you have a rough day, it's hard not to think that the person is responsible in some way, because they're the only person around that you can kind of blame.
Right.
So even though I know it's not her fault, I find myself getting upset about things and that, have nothing to do with her. And then I'll just watch her and be like, she's clanking those forks on purpose, or whatever it is. But she's dynamite. She's so fantastic, very level herself. She's totally the opposite of me.
What do you guys do during the day? Like, what do you feel? Do you do activities together, or is it just mainly like watching TV?
Well, fortunately, we both still have our jobs.
Great.
So I'm writing all day for Bro Bible now.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a women's lit publication. And it's actually Oprah's one of Oprah's parent companies. But yeah, I'm doing that, and then
Lena Dunham has a column at Bro Bible, right?
And then she's at Salesforce, and so we're both busy, in our separate quarters.
It's so good to be busy. Yes.
Yeah, like 6 p.m. And then.
But are you forced to live together for the first time? Is this the first time?
We are, but we had planned to. She was going to move into my New York apartment with me on May 15th, and so
oh wow, yeah,
it was kind of like we bumped it up, a few weeks, but we were prepared for it.
Yeah.
Nikki, what about you? Or what's your relationship situation?
It's a lot of nothing. I mean, I'm on the dating apps and like Raya and stuff, and I was talking to a few guys, but they just like. They're all worthless. They don't. The ones that I was excited about are truly just not to be trusted with any. There's so much thunder. I'm sorry, guys. This is a beautiful story.
I like it.
I know, right?
Crazy.
That's one of my sleep noises, actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I got to get that girlfriend, that mumbling girlfriend app where she's talking in her sleep. Yeah, snoring girlfriend. Yeah, it's just a lot of guys. Like at first, they were like checking in on my well-being at like 3 a.m. Where you're like, I just felt like it was a lot of guys that just wanted to like jerk off and like have someone facilitate that, which was fine. And I didn't really, but I just don't have any interest in like having sex with someone over the phone for the first time.
Right.
And dating, you can't really do it. But now I'm like kind of thinking about settling into St. Louis for the summer and just like getting my own place, and then I could probably go out and date because I'm scared about giving COVID to my parents who I live with right now because they're old. So.
Right.
If I live on my own, then I'll start dating again. My ex-boyfriend just moved back to town, so that's not happening, but it's like still very interesting. But I got to put myself out there. I'm just I need more. There's no one on Raya in St. Louis.
Right.
Yeah.
And the ex-boyfriend thing, that's like a Zach Braff movie.
I know. I can't. Yeah. I keep going back to that, but it's like at some point you just go, why are we both still single, and why did we end up in the same? Sometimes you're like, maybe it's good. But, who knows?
Can I ask you a question, a masturbation question?
Please.
Is there any allure in your mind to the POV Like from your POV porn. Like you're getting banged by a guy and it's like VR. Is that confusing?
No, I've done it before because on my show Not Safe, we actually they filmed a VR porn for me to watch, and it was like made for me. There was like all these jokes in it. Like I think Taylor Swift was playing, or she stopped by.
Doug Reese was thumbing through books at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah. There were like dudes like feeding me froyo. Like it was very funny and interactive. It was yes. I mean VR porn when that comes out, I'll totally.
It's out. You can do it.
And you can. I wouldn't. I mean,
you don't actually get banged.
No. Okay. I don't think I can. It's too sad. It's just it's when I really give up, I'll do it. But it's just a little bit. Porn is fine for me now. Like I don't really need to take it to the next level. Like what about you guys?
I mean,
Giulio's been into this headset stuff.
Well, I was thinking, I joked with my girlfriend about it. She immediately shot this down, but I was like, we should film our own VR porn.
Yes.
So this way I can actually bang you when you're gone and I don't have to like, and everybody wins.
Such a good idea.
And she's like, no. And I'm like, why? Well, she's like, you're going to show people. And I'm like,
no.
I guess the risk of that exists, but I obviously wouldn't.
Yeah. I don't know. Whenever I film stuff, like, I'm always like, yeah, you can show people. I don't want it to like leak, but like, I'd love your friends to know that I'm like, that kind of turned, like, I remember my ex-boyfriend, I'd be like, did you show anyone that? And he's like, no, I would never do that. And I'm like, could you? Like, just like, I just get the word out. I don't.
An A performance.
Yeah, like I don't know. There's something. Sometimes I watch porn and I'm like, I could do that. I'd be pretty good at that. And then they're like, I want to try, but you can't. Like like I got a karaoke machine because I want to be a pop star. And I can't. There's just no way in the world that I will ever be a pop star, and I've resigned myself to that. I'm never going to be a porn star, but like you can try. I think I could have, if I got started early enough, I could have been great. But it just, my dad hugged me too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those two.
I love that, Giulio, that you and your girlfriend are just waiting for the technology where you can just like merge into one being finally and embody the same host. Like it starts with the sleep sounds and now you're talking about VR porning each other. And it's like, at what point are you guys just going to surgically attach yourselves?
Well, it seems like you never have to live together again. Like it's kind of what we're learning about our careers is that you can do everything from home.
Right.
I think our relationships, you're like, oh, we could just sustain this on each coast. Like we don't, with VR porn, it really would make that it would make a long distance relationship a lot more tolerable, I bet. But you would start getting suspicious about, how did you film this one? This one's new and we haven't seen each other in a while.
I mean, listen, I truly feel that with the things we've done, I talk to her all fucking day. Like she jokes that I don't miss her, but it's like you said, like we're sustaining our relationship well. Obviously it sucks that we can't hang out, but like,
there's
like
nothing to talk about.
What's that?
There's like nothing to talk about. Like catching up with people every day. If I had a boyfriend that was long distance, I'd probably be like, let's just do a couple times a week. I love you. I won't question if you love me. Can we just like agree to that? We don't need to do this like mandatory check-in. But if you need it, that's different. I really was just thinking about, there should be an apparatus that you as a woman can put on your back to hold the phone, like a tripod on your back, so it holds the phone where a guy would hold it if he were fucking you. And then you can make your own VR porn without someone and you could just act it out. That's like a good idea.
It's awesome.
Right?
Yes.
If you had like some kind of like strap around you and then it like extended, I think I could probably put one together just here and have a Shark Tank presentation ready to go when we get out of this thing.
I'm telling you, VR cameras are very easy. They're small. Like you don't need anything because everything's in the shot. So as long as it's well lit, you could easily execute this.
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
I'm
but an ass tripod is very important for stability, and like it would have to move with you.
Right.
Like you couldn't just put it in a tripod and then fuck the tripod. It would have to like, that's so good.
Absolutely.
Francis?
I'm picturing a dude dressed all in green, like a green screen, having sex with you with his green felt penis. Like just
so gross.
I mean, there's definitely porn with guys in like those suits just doing weird stuff. Ugh, I like really weird porn, like just like dungeony shit. and it's not, mine's like mild compared to like the sites I subscribe. Like I pay for my porn. I'm like, I go to kink.com because it just has the best shit. And, but then they have other stuff that is just so weird. There are so many weird avenues to go down. Like have you guys fallen down into those traps, or you don't really watch porn because you're in relationships?
I find that if I scroll past related videos, recommended videos, trending and all that on Pornhub, the bottom half of that page tends to get a little bit murky.
Yeah.
And there are things I don't recognize happening. And
right. Yes.
That's sort of my danger zone. And sometimes out of curiosity, I'll look, but that's always been a mistake.
You're like, is that woman giving birth? Is that...
Yeah.
Is there
that
a
is true.
dog in
Sometimes,
that one? Yeah.
Sorry, I'll watch porn that I have no interest in participating in, but something about the porn itself is interesting and like exciting, but I don't want to do that.
Right. I need the girl to look like me. I think that's important. Yeah. At least like, actually not look like me, but just be enough like me that I can kind of suspend disbelief and like put myself in. Do you guys not put yourself in it?
No.
Really?
No.
Nope.
No.
Huh.
Every time I'm done, I'm like, thank God that wasn't me.
Wow. I'm always like so jealous of the girl.
Well, I'm usually watching like pool boy videos, and those guys barely make any money at all.
Right. Yeah, there's
the
not
funniest
more.
I've ever been on this episode.
I the biggest problems in porn are like the fake orgasms, obviously, and then the guys are never mic'd. Like, no, because most porn is made for men, and men don't want to hear other men, but women want to hear men. And so it's always like a girl perfectly mic'd screaming, and then a guy being like, yeah, just do that. It's like I'm like, what did he say? What did he tell her? She's a good girl? Come on, please. Just searching for, just caption him at least. I know maybe he can't be mic'd, but men are just overlooked in porn.
Nikki, I watched a clip of you on Tom Segura's podcast, Your Mom's House.
Yeah.
And it was you saying that you really like when a guy won't let a woman have an orgasm.
Yeah.
That stuck with me. I've seen that in porn before, and it makes me feel so bad for the person.
No, it's great. That's the best.
So what is that for you?
I think it's about control, and it's about like not being in control and having someone else tell you that you get to do this, you can't do this, and like be like following the rules. I mean, it kind of fits into my whole thing that I was talking about before of being a perfectionist and wanting to like do it the right way. And like, I feel like when there's a task at hand and you're challenged, like not being able to come when like someone's trying to make you come when you're just like trying not to, it just feels like an accomplishment. And also coming for me was always like very hard to do and still is. Like I have to like fight it. I don't understand people that are like, it's easy. Like your body wants to like twitch and make weird noises and you look disgusting. Like I'm fighting that I don't want to do that. I don't want to lose control. So I feel like there's something about that of like getting permission to do that. Like you're allowed to look stupid. You're allowed, like, because I'm telling you, you have to. So I'm like, oh good, I get to come because someone's letting me. It's very masochistic for sure, but there's just something about it. Yeah. And you're like, I don't have to think. I don't have to do anything. Like I am so like obsessive and constantly thinking, constantly analyzing, constantly being like, you did that too much. You didn't do that the right way. And then for you to truly be like owned by someone and be like, you have to do this and you can't do that. It's like, good. Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, whatever your name is. Like, it's just, there's just something about it that's like, I think for control freaks, I think a lot of girls tend to like that kind of stuff.
I think you're right.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've found that to be like definitely a thing that I'm surprised at how regularly I have noticed that that's a thing.
Yeah. I like, if my advice to men that are listening is like, tell her, just try it. Try to be like, tell her she can't come. Just once. Be like, you're not allowed to come until I tell you to. And just make her wait like a minute before, like where she wants to. Make her beg for it. If men made women beg to come, it is a fucking game changer. I swear to God. Like, just be like, no, you can't until I tell you to. It will change your life tonight if you do that. And then when she does, call her a good girl. Oh boy. Like, I'm serious. You're going to score some fucking quarantine points for that.
Fuck
You're
yeah.
going to change people's lives. I just have a feeling. Some dude listening right now is going to try it out tonight. It's going to be good.
This is great.
My ex-girlfriend, one time I said good girl to her during sex, and afterwards she said, never do that again. It makes me feel like a cow on a farm.
Oh, that's a good point. It does. Like,
good girl,
Bessie.
Bessie. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about there's some, I get that, but I even like being called, like, I don't ever want to be called ugly, or like, there's some porn where it's like, you ugly fucking fat bitch. And it's like, I guess some girls are into that. Like, I don't want to be called that, but I like being called like a dumb whore. Like, that's funny because it's like, maybe I am like being called a whore, like for a girl. I don't know. Some girls might not like it, but I feel like very empowered when I'm like, you think I'm a whore? Oh my God. Thank you. Like, because I was so prude, like for me to do anything sexual, I just feel like such a badge of honor whenever someone's like, that was pretty whorish. I'm like, it what? Like little me? I like get so excited. So yeah, call her a whore and don't let her come.
Wait, Nikki, I remember you told me something along these lines too, to try it, and I did. And I remember, like, I maybe wasn't confident enough when I was like, good job. I said good job or good girl. And then she went, excuse me, good job. And I was like, yeah, good job. Like, I doubled down, and then I had to like double down, but then I think it worked. So thank you.
Good job is a little off. You know, if it looks like you might as well just like have put a sticker on her with like a sun with sunglasses on. Like, yeah,
that's
nice
sportsmanship
work.
At that point.
Yeah, it just seems like a good job is like, even like you wouldn't say that to a cow even.
Damn it.
Good job is really missing the mark. Great job is like you're getting a performance report from your manager. But good job, nice try. Do you want to try that next time?
God.
It's the thought that counts.
Yes.
You know, it reminds me of this. Do you guys ever run with the Nike Run app? Have you ever used? Okay, there's a Nike. It's called like Nike Running Club, and it's good job all over the place. Every time I get done with a run, it's like, you know what, girl? So there's some people that didn't do anything today, and you tried your best. Here's to you, and you should celebrate. And it's just like, hey, you lazy piece of shit. At least you did something today. Like it's so fucking condescending every time. Sometimes Kevin Hart gets on. He's like, yeah, I'm not good at this shit either, but we did it today. And it's just like, no, I was good. I just ran a fucking 7:30 mile. What can I do to impress you, Kevin Hart?
Fuck,
I get good jobs all the time. If they said good job at the end of my run, that might be better. Or good girl. I'd run and come.
Good girl.
Run and come. That's one of my favorite gas stations in the Midwest.
Good girl. That's to everybody listening. Good girl is better than good job. We can agree with that across the board.
Yeah. I mean, sounds a little bit like makes you like, I'm a baby, like good girl. So some girls might be uncomfortable with it. I did not see your girlfriend thinking that it was going to make her feel like a cow, but she is not wrong. And it must have been the way you said it. Did you like put a bell around her neck and try to milk her?
I gave her a little pat and a carrot. And she's not a carrot person.
I bet you had recently watched the movie Babe or something. Just some kind of
fucking secretariat.
Good girl.
Very nice. Well, let's wrap there, Nikki. You were such an absolute star. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me, guys. It was fun to catch up.
For sure.
Where, anything you want to plug, we'd love to hear it.
I don't have any jobs left. So you can follow me on Instagram and I'm about to have a bunch of stuff, but there's nothing really to promote right now. I guess to catch my specials on Netflix, Bangin', and then I have a special, The Degenerates, and also the Stand Up. So I have 3 specials on Netflix that you can watch, and I have a podcast for now called You Up with Nikki Glaser, and I do it 5 days a week. They're just short little episodes that are me during quarantine. So it's like a limited edition podcast where I really just do like rambling stream of consciousness, and like it's like my diary. So that's
cool.
available wherever you get podcasts. It's called You Up.
Hell
Awesome.
yeah. Thanks so much.
And I'm on
guys, as
Raya.
always, send your, find her Nikki Glaser on Instagram. We are at Oops the Podcast, and send your mistakes and quarantine stories to our oopsthepodcast@gmail.com account. I'm Francis Ellis. He's Giulio Gallerati. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.